take your seats. We are about to start. Please take your seats. Benas. Firdosh, will you please take a seat? All right, we start. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. May I please once again give a final call. Take your seats so that we may start. My name is Behroz Daruwala, and I'm the President for India region. I'm also a Director and Corporate Secretary of the International Global Board. It gives me great pleasure to welcome you all to this awards night of World Zartusti Chamber of Commerce. Having said that, I'd like to introduce my co-host, Benas Nanavati, who is one of our youth leaders from Pune Chamber. Benas is an honors student at MIT, currently pursuing a course in business administration and law. Engaged as a youth director at our Pune chapter, she is actively involved in fostering unity amongst young members. She organizes Chai with WZCC, aiming to promote greater awareness of WZCC's objectives among people, young and not so young. Benas serves on the managing committee as a managing committee member for the Zoroastrian Youth Association in Pune. Committed to community welfare, she contributes to FOYA, which is Federation of Zoroastrian Youth Association, in organizing youth seminars and various other activities. She also organizes charitable events that is organized by Pune Zartusti Seva Mandal. Additionally, she dedicates time to her family business, the Food Gallery, and volunteers as Junior Red Cross in Pune. Having said that, let's get started. Benas, that's for you. As some of you are aware, World Zartusti Chamber of Commerce was born, that is formalized in the year 2000 in Houston, USA, which used to be my hometown, and I've been associated with this august body for a long, long time, 23 years. In fact, a lot of work was put into it much before the formalization, and all the visions, objectives, expertise, hard work of our founding fathers, some of whom are here, have resulted in creating this august body, World Zartusti Chamber of Commerce. Today, WZCC, as it is affectionately called, is a force to be reckoned with in the environment we are living in. In fact, I want to emphasize that Zartustis, as you all know, with the nature of giving, have very many social organizations around the world, like the Bombay Pasi Panchayat in India, Hong Kong Charities in Hong Kong, Faizana in USA, ZEFT in UK, and many more around the world. But please remember, there is only one World Zartusti Chamber of Commerce in the world, and we are very proud of it. It's always good to meet and catch up with you guys, the community that comes across the world. And that is what I'm very happy about today. Friends, I have some good news to announce to you all. WZCC, as some of you know, is now actively aware with other chambers of commerce, more even globally and locally. Therefore, I'm happy to state that today WZCC is going to sign an MOU, Memorandum of Understanding, with Asian African. WZCC India has established a special committee under the leadership of one of our very august member from Mumbai chapter, Mr. Jamshed Mistry. Jamshed is a council of Supreme Court of India and Bombay High Court, and he's been there with them for nearly 25 years, hoping he'll be with them for another 50 years. Jamshed is also the founder of International Legal Alliance, a virtual global network of lawyers, and he deals with attorneys and counselors all over the world. He has assisted WZCC to liaise and sign many MOUs with other chambers of commerce, and one of them today is Asian African Chamber. Therefore, ladies and gentlemen, today, in your presence, being a good day, our Global President, Captain Percy Master, and Dr. G.D. Singh, a founder chairman of Asian African Chamber of Commerce, will do the honors. May I request Jamshed to please step forward and introduce Dr. Singh.
Very, very good evening, ladies and gentlemen. It's truly a pleasure to be here in Pune, and thank you very much, Beros, for the kind introduction. I have the personal and a great privilege to introduce one of the finest gentlemen that I have met, Dr. G.D. Singh. Dr. G.D. Singh has founded the African Asian Chamber of Commerce and Industry and currently holds the position of being its founder and chairman. He is a global management consultant, a brand maker, an educationalist, author, academician, speaker, motivational trainer, media host, and more importantly, a world peace advocate. He is the founder and the president of the Unified Brains Virtuoso Limited and editor-in-chief of the Passion Vista, a very interesting leading global luxury lifestyle and business magazine. Apart from being very avid about his work, Dr. G.D. Singh is also what we would call a big-hearted altruist. He has founded the WPDO, that is the World Peace and Diplomacy Organization, in the year 2016. The United Nations, in recognition, had actually bestowed upon him the title of the Ambassador for Peace, that is in the year, I think the next year, that is 2017. And he has also earned the title of the Ambassador for Peace from the Center for Peace Studies in Sri Lanka. Dr. G.D. Singh has published 3 books, that is The Master of the Fear of MLM Branding, The Gap Between Your Efforts and Successes, The World Peace and Diplomacy. So overall, if one could summarize him, he is a fireball of passion, a human dynamo, and non-parable. Dr. G.D. Singh, ladies and gentlemen.
May I request our Global President Percy Master and Dr. Singh, please come forward to execute the Memorandum of Understanding. there a witness signet? There's a witness? Ladies and gentlemen, our partnership with Asian African Chamber of Commerce starts. May I request Dr. Singh to say a few words, please?
Very good evening to the beautiful crowd here in Pune. Firstly, I would like to thank the organizers for calling me for this beautiful gathering of such an elite crowd. I must thank Jamshedji specifically for taking this special initiative of ensuring that we don't miss this beautiful occasion today. At the onset, I think the kind of energy which I can see is such a positive era, and the aura is very unique, because I believe that the kind of unique people with different walks of life, and people those who are excellently doing well in their own field and industry, because I could have interacted with few of them today, and I think by the end of this dinner today we'll know much more about each one of you individually. So I can only say that, you know, there is no success formula in this world, and it's all the way you think. So change the way you think. And one more thing which I would like to value add and, you know, give as a thought to this beautiful audience is that if we think, we initiate, we plan, and we execute. So these are all words which are very well interconnected. So we must try to not just think about the plans, but we should also try to see that how actually we can plan to execute them. So today, by signing of this MOU between WZCC and AACCI, I must say that the first stepping stone has been laid down, but there is a lot of work which we all have to do. So I think I like to say that each one of you who is sitting here should pledge along with me that you're going to support me and I will support you back. So this is what we all can do to ensure that the network what Asian African Chamber of Commerce and Industry has created should be well utilized and should be taken in that positive spirit, because I believe that I might have done a lot of MOUs in my lifespan and in different capacities, not just as the chairman for Asian African or maybe World Peace and all, but I think that I wish to say that these MOUs will only give results when we all wish to see that result. So it is both ways, that if you wish, you will get, and we are there to help you. So AACCI, and on behalf of the entire Asian African community, I'll say that me, in the capacity of the chairman today, Dr. G.D. Singh, would like to say that we will extend the maximum support to the whole of Zoroastrian community in the best possible manner to ensure that we give you the reach, we give you the platform, and we give you what you have given back to the society in these years. So thank you so much.
Thank you, Dr. Singh. You can be rest assured that we will reciprocate. May I request our immediate past president, Mr. Adel Dawa, to present him with a memento. May I now request our current president, global president, Mr. Percy Master, to say a few words and reciprocate.
Thank you, Beroz. And thank you, Dr. Singh, for traveling all the way from Ahmedabad to here in spite of missing the train and then coming here by car. So we are very thankful to you for being here today. It is indeed a privilege for WZCC to sign this MOU today with the Asian African Chamber of Commerce and Industry. But as Dr. Singh said, merely signing an MOU is not going to serve the purpose. We have to interact, we have to exchange views, and we have to develop businesses and profession by taking the advantage of signing this agreement. While I was talking with Dr. Singh just a few minutes back, I casually asked him that, you know, we are approximate 1,000 members in WZCC. So then he quietly told me that they have got 30,000 members and and also signed chapters in 102 countries. So you can imagine that the difference between the two organizations. But as I would like to inform Dr. Singh that, you know, Mahatma Gandhi said that we Parsis are small in numbers, but in performance beyond compare. So I would like to assure you, sir, that we will do everything possible for our members to interact with your members and see that we take proper advantage of this MOU which we have signed today. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Percy. It's very obvious that under your guidance and leadership, WZCC has reached new heights and can boast of rich and varied projects all over the world. It's heartening to see the mutual respect and inclusiveness in your way of working, the way you show towards various chapters, and it is this secular outlook of our chamber that has resulted in WZCC having a long and unbroken tradition of harmony and commerce. Moving on, we come to the next part of our program. You want to leave this? Ladies and gentlemen, today we are very, very fortunate to have amongst us Justice B.N. Sri Krishna as our chief guest. And I'd like to invite our very own counsel, Zerik Dastu, to introduce him to you. But before he comes forward, I'd like to introduce Zerik and like to tell you something about him. Zerik is an advocate, practicing in the field of corporate and commercial litigation, domestic and international arbitration, and securities law. Zerik is a triple gold medalist in law from Mumbai University. Zerik has litigation experience from the Honorable Supreme Court, various state high courts, as well as tribunals and regulatory bodies. He regularly represents our community, the Parsi Zoroastrian community, on issues affecting them in India. Zerik writes regularly in various publications, including our Zartusti publications like Jame, and in his column, Legally Speaking, is very, very famous. Zerik received WZCC's Outstanding Zartusti Young Entrepreneur Award in the year 2017. He speaks regularly with the Economic Times, VC Circle, all chambers of commerce, Zoroastrian congresses, Arthornar Mandals, etc., etc., etc. He is a member of the Law Committee of Indian Chambers Commerce and a director of our World Zartusti Chamber of Commerce India region. Knowing him, I've seen him work also very actively and championing the cause and does not hesitate to step forward, litigate, and voice his opinion for Zarathustri causes. And our whole community, ladies and gentlemen, is very, very proud of him. Please, Zarek, can you take the podium and introduce our chief guest today?
Thank you, Behrouz. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Over the last 3 days, we have had over the last 3 days, we have had a mega event in Pune, which has been a wonderful experience for all of us. And today, when we come to the finale, we have a special session by a legal luminary who is perhaps the most sought after legal mind in the country. We have amongst us a legendary jurist, a legal scholar to whom our entire nation turns to time and again for the purpose of enforcement of our fundamental rights which are enshrined in our Constitution. Justice B.N. Sri Krishna is a retired judge of the Honorable Supreme Court. He has served at the highest level, upholding the values enshrined in our Constitution. He has contributed in various capacities throughout his very illustrious career, starting off as a lawyer in the Bombay High Court in 1962 and practicing in the field of labor and industrial law, amongst others. He had a thriving legal practice, but eventually he took up the social cause and accepted judgeship and became the judge of the Bombay High Court. Thereafter, he was elevated as Chief Justice of the Kerala High Court. Many of us would have heard of the Sri Krishna Commission report, which was a organization, which was a body constituted to inquire into the riots and incidents that occurred in December 1992 to January 1993 following the Mumbai riots. He was thereafter elevated as a judge of the Supreme Court of India, and he served between 2002 to 2006. Retirement has been anything but leisure for Justice Sri Krishna. Even after concluding his service as a judge, he continues to be passionate about the legal sector and the legal profession. Justice Sri Krishna is still one of the most sought after retired judges, both by the Government of India as well as by private parties. Post-retirement, he has served on various committees of the government and also handled a number of arbitrations as an arbitrator, both domestic and international. He has served on several important commissions like the Sixth Pay Commission, the Expert Committee on Arbitration in India, the Committee to Draft Data Protection Framework in India, Financial Sector Legislative Reforms Commission. He was also appointed by the Government of India as the chairperson of the committee to consider the demand for the bifurcation of the state of Andhra Pradesh. Justice Sri Krishna is also currently the Vice President and Trustee at the Bharatiya Vidya Bhavan and a Trustee at the India International Center. Justice Sri Krishna has a deep interest in philosophy, culture, religion, music, and education. He speaks several languages fluently and is a connoisseur of art, culture, drama, classical music, and is well acquainted with Sanskrit as a language. By the time I completed, by the time I started my legal career, Justice Shri Krishna had already retired from the Supreme Court. But I have had the pleasure of working with him on several mandates after his retirement, be it arbitrations, be it opinion-related mandates. I vividly remember the first occasion when I met him, when I was having a legal case in the High Court, and I required an urgent legal opinion of a retired judge. And I contacted him, got an appointment, and requested him that if he could deliver the opinion maybe urgently, which in my mind, would have been maybe a week or so. If you know the legal profession, normally it takes much longer than that. But to my amazement, the day when I went to brief him, not only did he absorb the entire complexities of the factual background of the matter, but also applied the law and delivered the opinion written and signed there and then. That was, in fact, a lesson in agility, perhaps, what we discussed yesterday at the panel discussions. Today, Justice Shri Krishna is going to speak on a very interesting topic of why Zoroastrians make good businessmen. We've heard various perspectives from the members of the community over the last few days. Now today, it is perhaps apt that we hear about our community from one of the most foremost retired judges the country has currently got. WZCC represents the Zoroastrian values of integrity, excellence, and perseverance. And who better to hear about these from the man who himself personifies these values. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Justice B.N. Shri Krishna.
Thank you, Zarik, for that somewhat unnecessarily long introduction. Is it working? I'm not sure. Somewhat avoidably long introduction. Before I say anything, I must confess that Zarik is a very persuasive person. Of course, I haven't had the pleasure of having in my court. But even otherwise, in my interaction, I found that the point that he canvassed was very persuasively put across. When he came to me and requested that I come here to Pune as a guest to talk about something and to award prizes, frankly, he did not have used to he was not required to be very persuasive. The reason for that is I have had a long association with Parsis. I'll use the word Parsi because I'm used to it than the long Zarathushtri, which is the official name. From the time I was in the law college, I've dealt with them. We had teachers who were Parsis. I had friends who were both men and women, Parsis. Then I became a lawyer. At the bar, I had the pleasure of getting friendly with very senior people like Fali, Nariman, late Soli Sulabji, and several other counsel, although I did not have the pleasure of having the acquaintance of the great doyen of my days, Sir Jamshedji Kanga. I had brushed shoulders with several of the top counsel in Bombay High Court practicing on the original side, most of whom were really Parsi gentlemen. Then in my practice, I had occasion to deal with a number of business people, small, middle, and even large business houses. And I found that my friendship or relationship with Parsis was very, very commendable without any problem on either side. Even after retirement, even in the Supreme Court, I had good friends like Justice Nariman, Justice Varyava, who was already in there when I became a judge, and then subsequently Justice Sarosh Kapadia, who rose to be a Chief Justice of India, and then subsequently Justice Rohington Nariman, whom I know very well, and at whose instance he was, when he wrote that book on Zoroastrian religion, when the book was to be released in the India International Center, he made it a point that the only person who should be called for presiding over the function was me. So when I asked him why, he said very simple, I am a Dastur, you are a Brahmin. We do the same thing but in different circles. Let's exchange our thoughts across the table and come to some understanding of what the common factors are. I promised him on that day that maybe I will do some research and write a book. So far I have not been successful. I don't know whether in the balance of life that God may. I don't think I'm going to live as long as Parsis. I am all of 83. I am not sure how long I'm going to live. But let's see how it goes. Now to turn to the topic of why Parsis make good businessmen. The ancient book of scripture in India is the Rig Veda. And the very first mantra of Rig Veda is Agnimi ile purohitam yajnasya devam ratpijam hota aram ratnadhatamam. It is praise of Agni. Why is Agni praised? Agni is praised because it symbolizes light, heat, and truth. Why is it truth? Because nobody can say that today Agni was hot, tomorrow morning it will be cold. Whether it is today, tomorrow, or any day thereafter, fire is always accompanied by these particular facets which are never to vary. That is, it symbolizes truth. Parsis do the same thing. Their main their main object of reverence is Agni. So one common factor. Then there are other common factors. I sat down and I noticed that a number of other interesting facets are there which make Parsis good businessmen. Why do I say that? Most of the Parsis are educated. Education is one factor which has produced brilliant professionals in various professions. Whether you take a doctor in the medical field, or you take a scientist like Bhabha, or you take a businessman like the Tatas, right from Jamshedji Tata down to the present Tata representative. Or you take legal field, you have great people like Nani Parkhiwala, Sir Jamshedji Kanga. What is it? Because of what? Because of their education. And education does not necessarily mean your ability to gather some kind of a degree from some institution or the other. Education, as it really means, is the word educe means to bring out. So the process of education is to bring out the goodness that is inherent in human being. So any educated person must inherently be good. And that I found was aplenty amongst Parsis. Parsis, by their cultural background, had emphasized education, which took them to the forefront in various fields, including businesses. Second factor, Plus, Parsis are a closely knit community. What does it mean? It means that they are out to help a person or a soul in distress. The various charitable institutions that I found, both in Bombay and all over other cities in India, are intended to help the person who are in need. That is another facet of a Parsis, particularly Parsi businessmen. The third one is most important. Now, all of you know that story about the Parsis, or rather the Zoroastrians being virtually forced out of Persia during the Mughal invasion of Persia. They were refugees who landed up in Sanjan, and the Vada Dastur went to the king or the ruler there in Sanjan and said, "We have been displaced from our homeland. Will you please allow us to stay here in your country, in your kingdom?" The story goes that the ruler said, "Hey, look, we are already overpopulated, so I cannot really adopt accept any other persons." In fact, he wanted to put it across to him, so he ordered his minister to get a pot full of milk, and the milk was right up to the top. He said, "See, this is the situation in my country. I can't add any more milk, then it will start overflowing." The Vada Dastur said, "Don't worry, I'll solve the problem." He said, "Get me a handful of sugar." He took the handful of sugar, dropped it into the pot and said, "See, that is how we'll live here." And that is precisely what the Parsis did. The Parsis adapted Gujarati, and of course now it is a version of their own Parsi Gujarati. In fact, when I speak Gujarati, my friends say, "Why are you speaking like a Parsi?" That's because I have too many Parsi friends. Now, their Gujarati is their own Gujarati. Their lifestyle is their own lifestyle. The greatness is adaptability, is being able to adapt to the culture of a different situation without forsaking your own culture. Now, the Parsis have not lost their culture. They have not become Hindus, they have not become Muslims, they have not become Christians. They continue to be Parsis, but they have absolutely no problem with the country in which they live. That is why you have all these various, right from America to Africa to New York to various countries that I saw looking there. Then the other characteristic is their philanthropy. Their philanthropy arises on account of this broadness of heart, broadness of vision. Their philosophy, if I may quote from a Sanskrit verse from a very great philosopher, he said, "Atmanah pratikulani pareshanna samacharit." It means whatever is bad for you, don't do it to others. Now, this is a great philosophy, and if every human being follows this, there can't be wars, there can't be violence, there can't be any kind of problem between human beings and human beings. Then I talked about how their heart is so big that they help each other in times of distress. The number of bags that we have in Bombay stand monument to their philosophy, and some of these bags are given out. In fact, I was asked to arbitrate in one of the Bombay Parsi Panchayat bag issue, and I found that a large number of them were poor people who were being allowed to stay without taking any rent from them. So that is their aspect of philanthropy. Then comes the most important, their strict adherence to ethical principles. This is something that makes them unique. This is because Zoroastrian theology emphasizes the importance of good thoughts, good words, and good deeds. I remember as a judge, when a Parsi witness, as a Parsi gentleman had to be given oath, it was always Manasni, Gavasni, and Konasni. This, what in Sanskrit would be Manasa, Vacha, Kayena. That he will, by his thoughts, deeds, and his action, be true to whatever is being said. Parsi Zoroastrian business ethics distinguishes between, this is a very important thing, between nekina paisa, and what is nekina paisa? Giving good value for the money that you are taking. We need not be merely not cheating. The enthusiasm, the drive to make sure that the customer who comes to you is given good value and something more than good value is what drives the Parsi businessman. And that is why they are good businessmen recognized all over the world. So that neki na paisa and badi na paisa concept is there right into the hearts and minds of every businessman that distinguishes them and makes them good businessmen. Then Zoroastrian religion places great emphasis on ethical and moral principles. Now, how do I say this? Their prayer. What is the first prayer that you are taught as a child? Ashem vohu vashishteyam asti ushta asti ushta agmahyat vashishtai ashtem. What does it mean? It means righteousness is the best good. It is happiness. Happiness to whom who is righteous. For the sake of the best is righteousness. Now, if righteousness is treated as the utmost principle in life, then there can't be a deviation from that. There can't be any deviousness. I was speaking to one of our friends here, and he was saying that Zerik is a priest by training. I said, yeah, I know he's a Dastur. I said, you are speaking to one by training. I should have been in that profession. I am in the wrong profession today. I should have been a priest myself. Because I'll show you what happens. You have another prayer. Yo yatha putrem taurenem havamem vandeta masyo fra abhyo tanubhyo havomo vaishite bekase. All this, I'm sorry, my pronunciation may be wrong. But this is precisely what it would be in Sanskrit. Yo yatha putram tarunam somam vande tamartyaha praabhyastanubhyaha somo vishate bheshajaya. This is precisely what it would have been in Sanskrit. Meaning, to that man who praises Homa or Soma, like this young son, he enters into his body for giving health. It's a praise. Now, this is exactly what attracted me to the Zoroastrian religion and the people who practice it. Their emphasis on righteousness, their emphasis on being good to others, their emphasis on not doing unto others what is really bad for them. Ladies and gentlemen, if a human being has all these characteristics, undoubtedly that person will be a good human being. But if he applies that in his day-to-day profession, he'll be a good professional, he'll be a good businessman. And that's the reason why I say Parsis are good businessmen. This is not merely theoretical. I can vouch for it. I've dealt with them at various levels from my joining the law college till the time even today. And my experience uniformly has, you can implicitly trust about Parsi, whether he is a professional or a businessman. Why? Because he comes from a background that says, act like this, act like this, act like this. Manasni, Gavasni, Kunasni. Thank you very much for giving me this opportunity.
Thank you, sir. What an enlightening speech. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
May I request our president to please
for giving
offer
me
him
this
a moment.
opportunity of renewing my acquaintance with redoubled vigor. May all the Parsis continues to prosper, and of course they will live long. There is nothing about that.
Amen. Thank you, sir. Know it now that our World Zartusi Chamber of Commerce and the Zartusis around the world may be small in numbers. However, as mentioned just now, Zartusi community has always been claimed as a marvel, as this community functions with the right wisdom, intelligence, and ability, not only to improve oneself, but to improve and impact the lives of others around us. WZCC has been very fortunate to be led by various past presidents and stalwarts who, in spite of challenges in health, age, provide their pearls of wisdom and are ever ready to step forward whenever they are requested. As most of you know, we've gathered here today to celebrate the success of our community members. At the inception of this august body, that is the World Zarathustri Chamber of Commerce, it was decided to institute global awards to recognize and acknowledge the excellent work done by our community members. It's been proven time and again that Zarathustri community is by and large the only community which, though small in numbers, has contributed tremendously towards humanity at large. Our contributions as Zoroastrians or Zarathustris have affected the universe from atom to infinite, and therefore it is not surprising that year after year after year, we come across Zarathustris who make us proud to be alive to this day in this age. WZCC therefore established certain categories for awards, and this year we celebrate these categories at this very function. However, before I announce the awards, let me briefly explain the process behind this whole big exercise. The process is very simple, I must say. Our CEO and Global Secretary appoint judges from across 5 continents and send them the nominations for selection. All judges do not know who the other judge is. They do not know the names of other judges on the panel and are requested to conduct their own due diligence independently. The results for each nominee is then sent to our head office in Mumbai, where points are complied and winners is then declared. These results are received by our CEO and honorary global secretary and then announced at our global AGM. And voila, we hold this function to celebrate their success. Any member of WZCC can nominate a candidate from any part of the world, irrespective of their education, background, etc. He just needs to be a good Zarathustri. However, the judges take into account and ensure that the following criteria are taken into consideration while they select the awardee. The first criteria is global presence of the awardee and his work, involvement with the World Zarathustri Chamber of Commerce, contribution of time and effort. Please note, I'm not saying money. Contribution of time and efforts, commitment to the cause, involvement in various trades and commerce organizations, and above all, proven success in profession or in business. I also want to mention that when we receive nominations and the awards are declared, we do not ignore the other nominees. We normally get 15, 20 applications and only 3, 4 are selected. For the next 2 years, we add these names again in the fresh nomination package for new judges to review their nominations. That way, in case somebody misses out by a point or 2 in getting an award, he can once again shine because in the coming years. This is done for 3 years. So you see, ladies and gentlemen, we do justice to our nominees, and I'm very proud of each and every one of them. Vinas, over to you. So let's begin.
The first category is the Outstanding Social Entrepreneur of the Year, and this award has been awarded to our very own Ms. Rashni Pardiwala. Ms. Rashni Pardiwala, a pioneer in environmental sustainability, she's established the Center for Environmental Research and Education, CERE, with minimal resources but boundless vision. From its modest inception with just 1,000 rupees and 1 employee, CERE has soared under her guidance, boasting an annual turnover of at least 12 to 14 crores in INR. Dr. Pardiwala's leadership has birthed initiatives like the Urban Afforestation Project, planting over 250,000 trees and pioneering carbon management for corporate India. Notably, the Switch On Solar program electrified 35 institutions, generating 40.27 million units of green energy, reducing carbon emissions significantly. Her 28 published titles has reshaped environmental education while guiding corporate giants like HDFC Limited and Tata Capital towards sustainable practices. Recognition like the Fellowship of Ashoka and Ford Fellow at Columbia University signify her dedication to a greener, better India. Dr. Pardiwala's multifaceted approach echoes harmony between human activities and nature, inspiring global environmental stewardship. May I please request Mr. Yazdi Batliwala to escort our awardee to the stage.
Put your hands together for Rashtre Pardiwala. May I request Justice Sri Krishna and Global President to please present the award.
This is indeed an honor. I am extremely grateful to WZCC for this award, and it truly means a lot. This award will be specially close to my heart because exactly 10 years ago, in 2014, at the WZCC Business Conclave in Dubai, we presented an idea to solar electrify charitable institutions. And at that time, it was just an idea. And we won the second prize, and we were given a very handsome check of 2 lakhs. And neither Katie nor I used that money for ourselves, but utilized every last rupee of that award to create the very first prototype. And I'm proud to say that that prototype has today helped us solar electrify over 50 institutions across India. And the seed money came from WZCC. So I am so, so grateful. And it comes round a full circle 10 years later, receiving this award. And as you mentioned, many years ago, I returned to India, having completed my graduation with a handful of student loans, having to repay them, but a burning passion to do a lot of work in the environmental space. And as you mentioned, I started with 1,000 rupees, and I remember the lawyer telling me, oh, as a settler of a trust, 1,000 rupees is not tenable. You have to, put in more. But glad to say that today, that 1,000 rupees has been converted to projects that we execute over 100 million each year. So thank you so much for your support. It really means a lot to be recognized by one's own community. I'm extremely grateful to WZCC. Thank you once again.
The next award is for the Young Zartusti Professional of the Year. And this year, the award goes to Jehan Daruwala. Jehan, a racing phenomena, is young and just 23 years old. But he embodies Indian motorsport's zenith, marked by an extraordinary array of achievements, starting from karting. He swiftly clinched the Indian National Karting Championship before going into the global stage. His triumph includes the British KF3 Karting Championship and a historic podium finish in an FIA World event. He is the first Indian transitioning from the Formula racing, and he made history as the first Indian with multiple wins in Formula 3, securing a remarkable second runner-up in the FIA F3 Championship, the best ever result for an Indian in an official F1 feeder series. In the fiercely competitive Formula 2, Jehan became India's sole F2 race winner, amassing requisite F1 super license points, so showcasing unparalleled support and talent. Aligned with the Red Bull Junior team, his journey's testament lies in the numerous prestigious awards cementing his global status as the motorsport icon and inspiring young aspirants worldwide with his relentless pursuit in excellence. Since Jehan is an under training in Mexico, we have amongst us his coach, mentor, he calls him his friend, philosopher and guide, Rayoman Banerjee. May I request Huchokshi Dada Chanji to escort Rayoman to the dais so that Justice and Captain Master can hand over the award to him on behalf of Jehan Daruwala.
Jehan regrets that he is not here to take the award in person, and he wanted me to convey his gratitude to getting this award. One thing which was left out, which I am very proud to say, that Jehan was one of only 3 Indians to have ever tested officially a Formula 1 car. This was a couple of years ago, and he's now preparing to be the first Indian to take part in the FIA Formula E World Championship. So good luck to him. Thank you for this award on his behalf.
The next award is for the Professional of the Year. People often harbor wrong concepts about the world's Arthusi Chamber of Commerce. They feel that this chamber is only for entrepreneurs. That is definitely incorrect. Professionals play a very important role in WZCC, and that is why we make it a point to recognize remarkable professionals in our community, and that is what the next award is all about, Outstanding Professional of the Year. This year, this award goes to the one and only Mr. Tema Sprinter from India. Mr. Tema Sprinter, the esteemed CEO of the International Gemological Institute, IGI, stands as a trailblazer in the gem and jewelry industry. With over 4 decades of expertise acquired in prestigious brands like Tata Press and Steelage Industries Limited, his journey has begun in 1999, sparking a transformative shift in the diamond grading practice. Under his guidance, IGI blossomed from a small team of 3 with a revenue of just $10,000 to a global powerhouse worldwide, amassing a revenue of $70 million with 700 employees and 19 offices across the world. His visionary leadership led to a groundbreaking initiative certifying the first lab-grown diamond and pioneering the D-check machine. Alongside professional strides, Mr. Printer's philanthropy aids numerous educational as well as healthcare endeavors, including founding the Green School in Karjat. Beyond industry leadership, he influences international councils, government initiatives, and shapes responsible practices in the gem and jewelry sector. May I kindly request Ms. Farida Debu to escort our awardee to the stage.
evening, everybody. A very happy new year to all. It's the start of the 2024, and incidentally, it has started off very well with me. 2 days ago, I was elevated to the Hall of Fame by the entire diamond community of India, you know. And today, I'm standing amongst you august people, having the top professional award given to me by a community who is professional, integrity, honesty, commitment, and that's way above. You know, when I joined IGI, I clearly remember in the first few months when we were just 3 people, a Gujarati businessman comes to my laboratory and he has a 2-carat dagino, like what he said, 2-carat diamond, and he wanted me to certify it. So I said, yes, we can certify it. You have to leave it with me. He wouldn't relent. He wanted to sit next to my gemologist. He couldn't trust giving that dagino to another person. So I had to tell him repeatedly, sorry, that is not possible. It's against the principles, and you cannot go into the lab. Finally, I told him, listen, I'm a Parsi. No, see the brand Parsi. When I said Parsi, his whole suspicious demeanor vanished. Now he turns around and says accusatory to me, saying that, "Tame Parsi cho?" I said, yes. "Tamne Gujarati avre che?" I said, yes. Then why are you speaking to me in English? I thought you were somebody from Dibyas, from London, like, you know. "Tame Parsi cho? Acha lo. Mane grade karina apu." See, that is the brand Parsi, full of integrity, honesty, that makes a Gujarati businessman leave his, and we call it a stone. Before we analyze the diamond or a gemstone, we call it, we take your stone. Only after analysis, we say it is either a diamond or a gemstone or whatever. So he says, "Tame to pehle mara stone, mara diamond, mara dagina ne patthar bolao cho." So how do you expect me to do this, you know? So, I mean, what I'm trying to say is that in the world of businessmen, in the world of business, in the world of commerce, you know, like the Honorable Justice said, that we are among the best business people. I would go one step forward, you know. I would say we are the only topmost industrialist in the world. We don't treat it as business. We are industrialists. And the greatest man on the living legend that we have today, apart from many others that are, I can see samples are here, is Ratan Tata. I mean, he is a source of inspiration to all of us to do business in a very ethical manner. See, whatever amount of money that you're going to earn, you're going to earn. There's no doubt about it. You can earn it through the right means, or you can earn it through malicious ways, you know. But the amount of money you're going to earn is going to be the same. So why not earn it the clean way? So that's my thing to the youth, you know, that it is very important to uphold your principles and stuff like that. You know, I won't take much of your time, and I've said you my piece. Thank you very much. I'm greatly honored by the Zoroastrian World Community, Chamber of Commerce, to have given me this great honor. I value this the maximum, the most. Thank you very much.
The last awardee of the evening is Outstanding Entrepreneur of the Year, and the award goes to Mr. Cyrus Revetna of USA. Ladies and gentlemen, you will agree that all this can only be achieved because the entrepreneurial fire in Cyrus's belly, and this fire is so great that even today it sparkles the environment with Zarathustri ethics. Cyrus Revetna, a respected licensed architect and an AIA member, focuses on community transformation through architecture. Educated at the Lawrence Technological University, Columbia College, and the University of Illinois, he founded Revetna Architects, Inc. in Chicago, driven by the motto, bright minds, improving lives through thoughtful designs. Beyond conventional projects, his work spans from designing the mosque for the Bori community in Chicago to revitalizing neglected areas in disadvantaged neighborhoods. He leads the Fairfield Building LLC, revitalizing distressed properties in collaboration with the local stakeholders and grants, combating urban plights. Committed to community service, especially within the Zoroastrian community, he advocates for modern yet traditional fire temples, and I am a proof of what he did in Houston, Texas. And believe me, if you go and visit that fire temple, his talent will shine and is remarkable. Honored with the Invest Southwest Chicago Award and featured in Crane's Chicago Business, Cyrus's global influence is seen in his international collaborations, presentations, and publications on Zoroastrian sacred fires and sacred spaces. His steadfast dedication marks him as a visionary architect reshaping society through innovative designs and community-driven initiatives. Cyrus, the community acknowledges your achievement with pride and thanks you for the contribution to the entrepreneurial world. Your parents, Rohinton and Roshan Revetna, who are here, started this August organization, and they have given us a true Zarathustri son who exhibits the glorious example of Zarathustri values, and the community salutes you. Ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together for the Entrepreneur of the Year, Mr. Cyrus Revetna. May I request Brochi, please, to escort Mr. Revetna.
I'll stand down here. Thank you very much. It really truly is an honor and a pleasure to be standing up here. It's remarkable to be amongst the other people who have received this award in the past. Huge thanks to the WZCC community and the judges who selected me for this award, and also to Manianti from Chicago, who fearlessly manages the WZCC in Chicago and nominated me for this award. I would be remiss if I didn't thank my parents, Roshan and Rohinton. They have always encouraged me to think big and always do my best and strive for the best. They are my #1 fans most of the time. And they are the ultimate role models for not only myself and my family, but also for so many other people around the world. Their endless energy is both inspiring and also exhaustive. And I also have to thank our worldwide Zoroastrian community which has instilled in me from a very young age the morals and ethics which to this day guide me and my business to always do things in the right way, in an ethical way. As the world becomes more globalized, both in the service industry and also manufacturing, I think our worldwide Zoroastrian community has a unique advantage in that we have an immediate and instant worldwide network of people that we can rely on and trust. So as an architect, it's my truly honor and privilege to help design appropriate buildings for our Zoroastrian communities. It's my passion to design buildings and construct buildings and guide our communities in constructing buildings that reference our truly unique architectural heritage, but at the same time are very contemporary buildings. I look forward to helping our communities now and in the future. So once again, thank you so much.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have just one more person that WZCC is very proud to be associated with, and it is appropriate that we present him with a citation of honor. I am talking about none other than Mr. Burgess Surti, whom we recently stumbled upon as he is located in Africa, but a local from Pune. Burgess Dadi Surti, born in November 1963, possesses a remarkable career trajectory marked by transformative entrepreneurship across industries. His Spenomatic group of companies operates in renewable energy, water management, and eco-friendly chemicals across 14 countries. Employing 700 individuals and impacting industries sustainably, Spenomatic Kenya Limited, the flagship company, revolutionized energy generation by introducing waste biomass, leading to a 95% shift from petroleum to biomass in East and Central Africa. They notably reduced carbon emissions by 90%. Further initiatives in effluent treatment and pioneering the solar power plants transformed industries in Kenya and beyond. Additionally, Surti's Expressions Flora Group excels in producing roses, blueberries, and potatoes for global markets. While upholding superior standards in sustainability and community upliftment, his professional achievements and contributions have been remarkable and have garnered numerous awards, affirming his commitment to industry innovation and social impact. May I kindly request Gulnar Irani to escort our awardee to the stage.
Good evening. Distinguished guests, respected members of the WZCC Apex team, ladies and gentlemen, it's needless to say that I am delighted, but I also feel deeply humbled at this honor. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
While I'm singled out and given this honor, I always believe and have believed that it's an interdependent society, an interdependent life, where your successes are not your own, but of a lot of people who've put in a lot of effort into that happening. And I want to take this opportunity to say thank you and acknowledge a few of them. I want to begin with Almighty God, because I think I've been helped more than necessary all through my life in very tough times. I started these businesses which now have over 3,000 employees with zero capital. So only God knows how that happened. Then just down the road, about a kilometer from here, my parents used to live. I really wish they were here today. Some of you knew them, Mrs. Hilla and Mr. Dadi Surti. They would have been proud today. They gave me the tools. They taught me a lot. But two things, when I reflect, stand out. One was they gave me the fortitude to face adversity. To face adversity, and that has really has been holding me in good stead. And the second was independence of thought. I could think independently, I could face adversity, and whenever the chips were down, I could get up and run again. I have my parents to thank for that. The next person I'd like to thank is my wife, Anu, who's here today. Shifting from a job to entrepreneurship is not easy, especially when you don't have a capital. And in my days, 25, 30 years back, it was not easy to get capital. She has stood by me step in step through good times, very tough times. She's been my moral compass, and I wish to take this opportunity to sincerely thank her. I started my life and career in Pune as a trainee engineer with a company which all of you know, Thermax. I worked with them for several years, and I feel deeply indebted to what Thermax taught me. It really taught me my craft. So I wish to really say thank you to the founders of the company, to the ethos they set up. Our Spenomatic group and Expressions Flora group, my colleagues, managers, teams, thousands of people who work with us. I believe this kind of honor is for all of them. It's really for all of them, because without that effort, without that perseverance, that diligence, that hard work, sincerity, I wouldn't be here, for sure. And in fact, one of the things which has not been talked about in this conclave, but we do practice, is that here entrepreneurship has been talked about all the time. But I found that there are a lot of people who want to be entrepreneurs halfway through their lives or through later stages, but are unable to become entrepreneurs because starting from scratch is tough, very, very tough. But they can become intrapreneurs. And I'm proud to tell you that we have created quite a few intrapreneurs quite successfully. And today one of them is here, Nauzar Satarawala, a boy from Pune who is there. I think you can stand up, Nauzar. Yeah. He has become an entrepreneur. He's with us in Kenya. And I wish to thank such entrepreneurs who have made our organizations even larger. want to make a special mention of Mr. Edel Davar, and the WZCC New York chapter for having nominated me for this award. Thank you, Edel. So, going forward, I have my daughter who couldn't come and my son who is sitting here, Trishad and Nikita. They have educated themselves well, and they give credence to my thoughts and beliefs. They imbibe Zoroastrian values and ethos, and they are keen to grow our organizations. They have joined us, and they are taking leadership roles. That makes me a proud father. So, as far as I go and I look at what's ahead of me, I feel the goal is clear: increase multifold, in great proportion, good deeds. And that's what I want to do, and that's where I think will be my joy and reward. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much.
There is one more thing. When Edel came to Kenya last year, he met me and we started talking. That's why the lady said stumbled upon, because Africa sits somewhere in the world. And Africa is growing, and very, very fast. What happened to India during Dr. Manmohan Singh's time is now happening in Africa. There is massive growth. The average people are, internet is there everywhere, and it's advancing at a fast pace. So he mentioned that we could even have a WZCC chapter. And I said, yeah, we could. When I was informed of this honor, I thought, let me go down and see what does WZCC actually do. And in the last 2-3 days that I've been here, I'm astounded by what WZCC is doing, the kind of people, the commitment. And so Viraf, me and Edel have been talking that we should start an Africa chapter.
All right.
And when I told my daughter Nikita about this, she said, Papa, you're always too busy, but don't worry, I'll support you fully. I'll do the groundwork, and we'll start it. So I'm sure in future conclaves you will have an Africa chapter. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. That's cherry on the icing. I just want to inform you guys that the International Board has decided to hold the next conclave in Toronto in April 2025. To be exact, it's going to be from 20th April to 3rd May, I think, but we'll just wait for the final announcement. In order that we establish that, may I request the Toronto chapter chair, Dilnawaz Shroff, and her husband, Vista Shroff, to please come to stage, and I request our Pune chapter chair, Temas, and his wife, Dinas, to hand over the torch and the flag to the Toronto chapter. Please come. Dilnawaz, tahu jo bira.
Ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of the entire WZCC fraternity and on behalf of the host chapter WZCC Pune, it's my honor and pleasure to hand over the torch to the WZCC Toronto chapter with all our best wishes, and I'm sure Toronto will also rock. Dilnawaz, thank you for accepting this, and all the best wishes from all of us.
Thank you, Temas. Congratulations, Pune, on a terrific conclave. Whereas Temas, the entire Pune and India team, kudos. We are very, very honored to accept this flag on behalf of our Toronto chapter. I hope that all of you got a chance to see the video of our Toronto launch. We are very excited, and we look forward to inviting all of you in Toronto next year. There's just one thing I have to say. I promise you this, WZCC, until you have seen our Toronto conclave, you ain't seen anything yet, baby. Woo! All right, thank you. That's it.
Ladies and gentlemen, I would like to invite my colleague, Mr. Yazdi Batliwala, to wrap up the whole conclave very briefly.
Ladies and gentlemen, he has worked pretty hard on the same, and we request you all to applaud him completely. Thank you.
Good evening, friends. It's a lovely evening, lovely ambience. I promise you I will not take long and stand between you and all the fun that awaits. We are at the end of an exhaustive 2.5 days conclave. Exhaustive, not as in physically, but as in educative, fruitful, interesting, which overall has been a learning experience for many. Of course, renewing old friendships, forging new ones has been the order of the day, especially for me personally, and also I'm sure for many of the others. I'm sure you will agree that there is no better way to start a program without the blessings of Lord Ahura Mazda. We did that with the Jasan on the 4th morning at the Agyari. The evening session was aptly started by the Hum Bandagi led by Airward Marizban Hatiram, followed by the Monajat so beautifully recited by the happy, smiling children of the Zartosti Seva Mandal. Not to mention the singing of our Parsi national anthem, our Parsi anthem rather, Chahiye Hame Zartosti, by the children, which had all of us stamping and clapping, as you remember. Airward Hatiram's knowledge and explanation of the esoteric lenses of our religion vis-a-vis business was indeed food for thought and made us proud to be Zoroastrians. Hearing him speak of the philanthropy of our forefathers in the old days brought to mind the saying, Parsi, thy name is charity. The blessings we received by the teachings of the 3 important short prayers of just a few words, the Athaveryo, Ashembo, and the Angyahatram, which guide us into the correct ways of life and its relationship with business, was so beautifully explained by him. Very few of us, if any, knew that Dada Ahura Mazda had 1001 names, not just the 101 that our parents made us recite every night when we said our prayers. Perin Padamji Koyaji's calligraphy of the entire 1001 names and the explanations left us spellbound. Mani Rao's Munajat and the deep meaning of the words were so touching. The entire fireside chat so beautifully brought out the isotropic lens of the religion vis-a-vis business. What can one say about Bamani Rani's talk on agile entrepreneurship and his personal experiences in life that held us spellbound? His keynote address was certainly something to dwell upon, and indeed a lesson for all, especially our youth. Unfortunately, very few youth were present. His gripping motivational talk, which highlighted the fact that fear of failure is the main cause of a non-starter and needs to be overcome. These words of Boman Irani remind me of the words of our former president, Abdul Kalam, during his address to a gathering of young university graduates when he said, "Do not worry about failure in anything, because the letters of the word fail, F-A-I-L, stand for first attempt in learning." Day 2 started with the AGM. It showed us relationships between industry, entrepreneurship, and our religion. All the messages and speeches very positive, and I'm sure everyone present got the feeling that we must put our shoulders to the wheel and assess the good work being done by the global board. No organization can grow without proper strategic planning and foresight. The number of young entrepreneurs helped financially and guided was heartening to note. Unfortunately, the financial crunch was a little disappointment, but nothing that cannot be overcome with the right approach and planning. The panel discussion on vigility, fragility, and agility brought out the spiritual justifications. The flexibility of success and the authenticity so well explained by the experience and the advice of the various panelists, Dick Redimani, Delna Awari, Adel Dawar, and Zubin Setna, were so beautifully brought out by Dr. Adil Malia's moderating skills. Normally, most seminars and conclaves in the afternoon session are most difficult, with the audience half asleep. But not so this time, when one of the hottest topics of temperature change and carbon footprint were discussed. Dr. Mrs. Rashni Pardiwala's talk on green is the new gold and environmental sustainability in business held everyone's attention. She very lucidly brought out the problems, the solutions, regulatory norms, and justifications. How the problems can and should be addressed had all of us wondering what little we as individuals and as business houses and industries, etc., do for this. I am sure all of us will carry back with us thoughts on what we should do to save the planet from further harm. Her words about climatic refugee emergencies brought to mind an award-winning novel I had read a few years back. It was about a long drawn-out war between two neighboring countries caused by hordes of refugees crossing the border because of the two countries not having proper infrastructure because of climate change. We have a long way to go, but we must implement ESG and other means to reduce the carbon footprint if we want our generations to come to live a healthy life. WZCC in general and Zerthostis have always thought of and practiced gender equality. The Power Pack V panel of Mahabanu Modi, Kotwal, Leela Poonawalla, and the mother-daughter duo of Rati and Rhea Forbes amply proved this. The inspirational real-life experiences of these ladies set out our grey cells working overtime. Some of the stories proved beyond doubt that children always follow the footsteps of the parents. My take on the discussions is that women in management positions and as industrial leaders bring a soft touch to the problems, making them easier to solve. Therefore, be it in entrepreneurship, multinational industries, or in leading NGOs, equally survive and do better with ladies at the helm. Being a Rotarian myself, whenever I have visited villages to do projects for village upliftment, build toilets, give them bore wells, etc., I have always felt that the average Indian village lady is more intelligent, probably more than the average Indian village man. With the right type of support and empowerment, they can prove beyond doubt that nothing is impossible. And this was exactly what Mrs. Armin Modi and her NGO Astanokai has been doing for a number of villages in and around Pune. The last session on the second day, WZCC's vision and mission statement brought out a lot of new plans from our stalwarts. The decisions have given us a lot of ideas and food for thought to keep us on our toes and think about what is being done. Is it being done in the right way? Can we change or better it? And of course, what new and extra can be done to bring WZCC to newer heights? This morning, the keynote speaker, none other than Mr. Naushad Forbes, his encouraging words to the young entrepreneurs where hope in business starts with education, but progress in business depends on what you do and how you do it. Business thrives in a liberal, democratic world, inclusive of a good, progressive daily life as well. The youth from Iran, they came to us like a breath of fresh air with brilliant ideas, a lot of zeal and enthusiasm. We wish them all the best. I am sure a business tour of Iran of WZCC members, as discussed during one of the sessions, will be a great boost to us as well as our young friends from Iran. Thank you, Farokh, for making this possible. The Tiger's Den. Tiger's Den was a very successful part of the program today. This was amply illustrated by the interest shown by the three investors, Mr. Naushad Forbes, Mr. Sam Balsara, and Mr. Mandar Joshi. I earnestly hope that something materializes into a fruitful relationship for the four hopeful entrepreneurs. Strategic planning, unveiled by Captain Percy Master, our global president, and the international board, an encouraging sign indicating progress. We hope they get implemented for the benefit of WZCC. Let us not forget that no organization can succeed without the full cooperation and hard work of every member. So let us all do our bit and ensure this success. In one of the earlier sessions, Captain Percy Master said, hard work and skill work together to create success. Let me expand on this and say, when love for hard work and skill work together, one can expect a masterpiece to be produced. Percy, this was pun intended. Friends, we are now at the end. I hope you all enjoyed the 2.5 days of listening and learning, sharing of ideas, renewing of old friendships and forging new ones, interacting and networking. I am sure the Pune team has thoroughly enjoyed working and planning for the conclave for all of you. So let me wish you bon voyage and a safe return to one and all, and hope to see all of you and maybe even many more at the Toronto Conclave in May 2025. Thank you.
Thank you, SD. Ladies and gentlemen, a time has come now to express our gratitude to one and all. So on behalf of World WZCC Chamber of Commerce, I am glad to be standing here to express my vote of thanks. At the outset, a special thanks to our Chief Guest, Justice Sri B.N. Sri Krishna, Honorable Justice of Supreme Court of India. Also thanks to our guest of honor, Dr. Singh of Asia-Africa Chamber of Commerce and Industry for accepting our invitation and for being with us here today. Justice Sri Krishna, we were really thrilled to know about your acquaintances with our community, your knowledge about our community. Neki no paiso, badi no paiso, what you said was really, we cannot forget that. It has been such an honor for us to have both the dignitaries with us at this wonderful event. Not forgetting all the participants for the 2 days conclave, both from abroad as well as from India. A big thank you to one and all. Ladies and gentlemen, it is said that feeling gratitude and not expressing is like wrapping a present and not giving it. Appreciation is a wonderful thing. It makes what is excellent in others belong to us as well. So with all this in mind, and as they say, when eating fruit, remember the one who planted the tree. On behalf of World WZCC Chamber of Commerce and the Pune chapter, and on my personal behalf, I would like to acknowledge with gratitude and convey our sincere thanks to all our valued sponsors who so very kindly accepted our appeal and sent their generous sponsorship. Ladies and gentlemen, we are thankful to our following sponsors: Gold sponsors, Vilu Poonawalla Trust, Johan Poonawalla, Forbes Marshall. Silver sponsors, Mayor and Firoz Padamji of Thermax. Bronze sponsors, Captain Master from Master Group of Companies, Zal Irani, executor of the estate of Sheila F. Danbura, Mr. Adi Siganporia. Other sponsors, Mr. Edel Dawar, Mr. Jimmy Khan. We also thank and acknowledge help from Farokh Irani of Imperial Bakery, Pune for offering brownies. Our own colleague, Prochi Batliwala for making the beautiful jars and bottles. Farida Debu for complimentary chocolates. Thank you one and all. An event like this cannot happen overnight. The wheels start rolling months ago. It requires planning and bird's eye for details. We have been fortunate enough to be backed by a team of very motivated and dedicated colleagues. I would like to acknowledge the contribution of my core committee and wish to say each one of them special thanks for their active involvement and for their time spent for us. They worked unitedly for months to see through this event, and I want to thank the people who worked behind the scene to execute this event. My personal thanks to our Global President, Captain Percy Master, also to India Region President Beros Daruwala, our CEO, Aspi Atia, office staff of Central Office, Ronnie Shroff, and for their help and guidance. I cannot forget to thank all our speakers and panel members, including those of the WE Wing, who kindly accepted our invitation and shared their valuable thoughts on various topics of interest. They provided good inputs to our audience. Their thoughts have enlightened our minds and shown us a new path. Thanks to all of them for adorning the occasion and sharing their opinion. Also, the moderator and a very good help, Dr. Adil Malia, who did an excellent job, deserves our thanks. Backstage help is also part of the event and contribute towards its success. For this, I would convey my thanks to our young Hosheda Debu, Rashna Debu, the husband-wife team who voluntarily came forward for our backend task. On the same lines, our young volunteers who played similar role deserve our thanks. Our own member, Vistas Dastur, thank you for taking care of transport arrangements. Friends, tomorrow we are going on a visit to the factory of Wakefield. I thank Mr. Ashwini Malhotra for kindly coming forward and arranging this visit for us. Thank you very much, Mr. Ashwini Malhotra and the family. I'm sure we all will enjoy tomorrow's visit. Finally, I would like to take this opportunity to record my heartfelt thanks for providing right logistics to Hotel Central Park, Crown Plaza, Royal Western India Turf Club, our caterer Satish for providing us with delicious meals, FK Irani for helping us with hot drinks, the DJ musicians for entertaining us, Panosh Services for providing us free transport assistance, and so on and so forth. Thank you to all Parsi press and the reporters from Parsiana, Jame Jamshed and Parsi Times for their coverage and publicity. With this, I hope I have covered one and all for expressing our thanks and gratitude. I end with saying, thank you is the best prayer that anyone could say. I also extend my best wishes to our Toronto chapter for the next conclave. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen.
Sitting around and hearing all that we had to say. I strongly feel that we Zarthustis have 4 tenets and not just 3. Good thoughts, good words, good deeds, and of course good food, which you're already on. So I invite you all to the best part of the evening, Khao, Pio, Maja Karo. After cocktails, we'll have a sit-down dinner, and we will enjoy the music by Austin Fernandez. So get up and rock.
Gotta be cool, relax, get in, get off my clouds, take a backseat, hey child. Take a long ride on my motorbike to the ready. Crazy little thing called. All right, take it up. Together now. Bam, 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 bam. Bam, 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 bam. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Wow, the crowd is growing. From Holland, come from Poland, come from any land. If you're looking out for a pleasant holiday, come to Pune, Pune, Meri hey. Hey, Pune, Pune, Meri hey. Pune, Meri hey. Our ladies are nice, just so full of spice. Come to Pune, Pune, Meri hey. Yeah! Come on, Nakuapun, Bazaratin, Bazar Valenci, Maramari. Nakuapun, Bazaratin, Bazar Valenci, Maramari. Mani Maramari, Maramari. Bazar Valenci, Maramari, Maramari, Maramari. Bazar Valenci, Maramari. All right. All right, come on. This one is your favorite. I'm sure you guys know it. Honey, sing along. Golan sakli sonyachi, imori konachi. Golan sakli sonyachi, imori konachi. Ais ki pjori ani bambus ki pjora, it's only mori konachi.